Welcome back, everybody, to episode, I want to say 18 of Sip, Read, Repeat. No matter what episode it is, I appreciate you coming back for yet another episode. We are on page 339. And of course, I've got my drink ready, Yeo Chalice. But today, now, when the idea of Sip, Read, Repeat first came along, I was supposed to have a partner with me. We're going to be drinking and having a good time and doing some banter, right? Obviously, I don't have a partner. It's just me, myself, and I. But I figured I could still have me a little drink. So my girlfriend and I, we went to a holiday festival. And I know this is not usually what happens during Sip, Read, Repeat, but I'm gonna tell this story anyway. My girlfriend and I went to this holiday like fall festival, fall like market thing. Excuse me. And anyway, out of all the vendors there was one that was selling moonshine, and I only have had very strong, very powerful moonshine. But when I saw some of the flavors he had, I was like, yo, we got to try this out. So he offered 2 samples per person. He had 4 different flavors. So I tried 2 and she tried 2, and we ended up leaving with one of each, or 2. Yeah, we ended up leaving with one of each flavor, just in these mini versions. Her and I don't really drink like that, but these are really good. So there was pumpkin cream, there was s'mores, this pink lemonade, and another one that I'm blanking on. But I finished 2 of them, and I figured, you know what? Today I'm feeling a little frisky today, for lack of a better word. So we got this pink lemonade moonshine. And when I tell y'all this is delicious, it's got some glitter in it, which is kind of cool, but it's so good. It literally tastes like juice. Like, if you like pink lemonade, you would love this. The brand is Country Hammer Moonshine, and I'm pretty sure they have a website. So if you look up Country Hammer Moonshine, you'll find them. Anyway, to the story. We are picking up right now with Amy Elliott Dunn, 10 Days Gone. Now, as a reminder, as a recap, I guess, the last time we were here, Amy had, Nick had pulled up on the talk show that his mother was a fan of. Amy ended up meeting with Desi, the one guy that Nick also had pressed, thinking that he was responsible, and then come to find out that the police found, or at least I think Amy told the police about her diary. So Nick is kind of scared. His stocks were up. His stocks stay fluctuating, man. It's a very volatile time for the stock market for Nick. So Amy Elliott Dunn, 10 Days Gone. We drive my car across state lines into Illinois to a particularly awful neighborhood of some busted river town, and we spend an hour wiping it down, and then we leave it with the keys in the ignition. Interesting. Call it the circle of strife. The Arkansas couple who drove it before me were sketchy. Ozark Amy was obviously shady. Hopefully, some Illinois down and outer will enjoy it for a bit too. Then we drive back into Missouri over wavy hills until I can see, between the trees, Lake Hannafin glistening. Because Desi has family in St. Louis, he likes to believe the area is old. East Coast old. But he is wrong. Lake Hannafin is not named after a 19th century statesman or a Civil War hero. It is a private lake, machine forged in 2002 by an oily developer named Mike Hannafin, who turned out to have a moonlighting job illegally disposing of hazardous waste. The kerfuffled, I don't think I've ever seen that word written in a book before. The kerfuffled community is scrambling to find a new name for their lake. Lake Collings, I'm sure, has been floated. So despite the well-planned lake, upon which had a few select residents can sail but not motor, interesting, and Desi's tastefully grand house, a Swiss chateau on an American scale, I remain unwooed. That was always the problem with Desi. Be from Missouri or don't, but don't pretend Lake Collins is Lake Como. He leans against his Jaguar and aims his gaze up at the house so that I have to pause for appreciation also. We modeled it after this wonderful little chalet my mother and I stayed in Brienzersee. He says, all we're missing is the mountain range. A rather big miss, I think, but I put my hand on his arm and say, show me the inside, it must be fabulous. He gives me the nickel tour, laughing at the idea of a nickel. A cathedral kitchen, all granite and chrome. A living room with his and hers fireplaces that flows onto an outdoor space, what Midwesterns call a deck, overlooking the woods and the lake. A basement entertainment room with a snooker table, darts, surround sound, a wet bar, and its own outdoor space, what Midwesterns call another deck. A sauna off the entertainment room, and next to it, the wine cellar. Upstairs, 5 bedrooms, the second largest of which he bestows on me. I had it repainted, he says. I know you love Dusty Rose. I don't love Dusty Rose anymore. That was high school. You are so lovely, Desi. Thank you, I say, my most heartfelt. My thank yous always come out rather labored. I often don't give them at all. People do what they're supposed to do and then wait for you to pile on the appreciation. They're like frozen yogurt employees who put out cups for tips. But Desi takes thank yous like a cat being brushed. His back almost arches with pleasure. For now, it's a worthwhile gesture. I set my bag down in my room, trying to signal my retirement for the evening. I need to see how people are reacting to Andy's confession and whether Nick has been arrested. But it seems I am far from through with the thank yous. Desi has ensured I will be forever indebted to him. He smiles a special surprise smile and takes my hand. I have something else to show you, and pulls me back downstairs. I really hope you like this. Onto a hallway off the kitchen. It took a lot of work, but it's so worth it. I really hope you like this, he says again, and flings open the door. It's a glass room, a greenhouse, I realize. Within are tulips, hundreds of all colors. Tulips bloom in the middle of July in Desi's lake house, in their own special room for a very special girl. I know tulips are your favorite, but the season is so short, Desi said, so I fixed that for you. They'll bloom year-round. He puts his arm around my waist and aims me toward the flowers so I can appreciate them fully. Tulips any day of the year, I say, and try to get my eyes to glisten. Tulips were my favorite in high school. They were everyone's favorite. The Gerbera Daisy of the late 80s, now like orchids, which are basically the opposite of tulips. Would Nick ever have thought of something like this for you? Desi breathes into my ear as the tulips sway under a mechanized dusting of water from above. Nick never even remembered I liked tulips, I say, the correct answer. It is sweet, beyond sweet, the gesture. My own flower room, like a fairy tale. And yet, I feel a lilt of nerves. I called Desi only 24 hours ago, and these are not newly planted tulips. And the bedroom did not smell of fresh paint. It makes me wonder, the uptick in his letters the past year, their woeful tone. How long has he been wanting to bring me here? And how long does he think I will stay? Long enough to enjoy blooming tulips every day for a year? My goodness, Desi, I say. It's like a fairy tale. Your fairy tale, he says. I want you to see what life can be like. In fairy tales, there is always gold. I wait for him to give me a stack of bills, a slim credit card, something of use. The tour loops back around through all the rooms so I can ooh and ah about details I missed the first time. And then we return to my bedroom, a satin and silk, pink and plush, marshmallow and cotton candy girl's room. Okay. As I peer out a window, I notice the high wall that surrounds the house. I blurt nervously, Desi, would you be able to leave me with some money? He actually pretends to be surprised. You don't need money now, do you? He says. You have no rent to pay anymore. The house will be stocked with food. I can bring new clothes for you. Not that I don't like you in bait shop chic. I guess a little cash may just make me feel more comfortable. Should something happen? Should I need to get out of here quickly? He opens his wallet and pulls out two $20 bills, presses them gently in my hand. There you are, he says indulgently. I wonder then if I have made a very big mistake. Nick Dunn, 10 days gone. I made a mistake. feeling so cocky. Whatever the hell this diary was, it was going to ruin me. I could already see the cover of the true crime novel, the black and white photo of us on our wedding day, the blood red background, the jacket copy, including 16 pages of never seen photos and Amy Elliott Dunn's actual diary entries, a voice from beyond the grave. I found it strange and kind of cute. Amy's guilty pleasures, those cheesy true crime books I discovered here and there around our house. I thought maybe she was loosening up, allowing herself some beach reading. Nope. She was just studying. Gilpin pulled over a chair, sat on it backward, and leaned toward me on crossed arms, his movie cop look. It was almost midnight. It felt later. Tell us about your wife's illness these past few months, he said. Illness? Amy never got sick. Once a year she'd get a cold, maybe. Boney picked up the book, turned to a marked page. Last month, you made Amy and yourself some drinks, sat on your back porch. She writes here that the drinks were impossibly sweet and described what she thinks is an allergic reaction. My heart was racing, my tongue was slabbed, stuck to the bottom of my mouth. My legs turned to meat as Nick walked me up the stairs. She put a finger down to hold her place in the diary, looked up as if I might not be paying attention. When she woke the next morning, my head ached and my stomach was oily. But weirder, my fingernails were light blue. When I looked in the mirror, so were my lips. I didn't pee for 2 days after. I felt so weak. I shook my head in disgust. I'd become attached to Boney. I expected better of her. Is this your wife's handwriting? Boney tilted the book toward me, and I saw deep black ink in Amy's cursive, jagged as a fever chart. Yes, I think so. So does our handwriting expert. Boney said the word with a certain pride, and I realized this was the first case these two had ever had that required outside experts, that demanded they get in touch with professionals who did exotic things like analyze handwriting. You know what else we learned, Nick, when we showed this entry to our medical expert? Poisoning, I blurted. Tanner frowned at me. Steady. Boney stuttered for a second. This was not information I was supposed to provide. Yeah, Nick, thank you. Antifreeze poisoning, she said. Textbook. She's lucky she survived. She didn't survive because that never happened, I said. Like you said, it's textbook. It's made up from an internet search. Boney frowned but refused to bite. The diary isn't a pretty picture of you, Nick, she continued, one finger tracing her braid. Abuse. You pushed her around. Stress. You were quick to anger. Sexual relations that bordered on rape. She was very frightened of you at the end there. It's painful to read. That gun we were wondering about? She says she wanted it because she was afraid of you. Here's her last entry. This man might kill me. This man might kill me. In her own words. My throat clenched. I felt like I might throw up. Fear, mostly, and then a surge of rage. Fucking bitch, cunt, cunt, cunt. What a smart, convenient note for her to end on, I said. Tanner put a hand on mine to hush me. You look like you might want to kill her again right now, Boney said. You've done nothing but lie to us, Nick, Gilpin said. You say you were on the beach that morning. Everyone we talk to says you hate the beach. You say you have no idea what all those purchases are on your maxed out credit cards. Now we have a shed full of exactly those items, and they have your fingerprints all over them. We have a wife suffering from what sounds like antifreeze poisoning weeks before she disappears. I mean, come on. He paused for effect. Anything else of note? Tanner asked. We can place you in Hannibal, where your wife's purse shows up a few days later, Boney said. We have a neighbor who overheard you two arguing the night before, a pregnancy you didn't want, a bar borrowed on your wife's money that would revert to her in case of a divorce, and of course, a secret girlfriend of more than a year. We can help you right now, Nick, Gilpin said. Once we arrest you, we can't. Where did you find the diary? At Nick's father's house, Tanner asked. Boney said. Yes, Boney said. Tanner nodded to me. That's what we didn't find. Let me guess. Anonymous tip? Neither cop said a thing. Can I ask where in the house you found it? I asked. In the furnace. I know you thought you burned it. It caught fire, but the pilot light was too weak. It got smothered. So only the outer edges burned, Gilpin said. Extremely good luck for us. The furnace. Another inside joke from Amy. She'd always have proclaimed amazement at how little I understand the things men are supposed to understand. During our search, I'd even glanced at my dad's old furnace, with its pipes and wires and spigots, and backed away, intimidated. It wasn't luck. You were meant to find it, I said. Boney let the left side of her mouth slide into a smile. She leaned back and waited, relaxed as the star of an iced tea commercial. I gave Tanner an angry nod. Go ahead. Amy Elliott Dunn is alive, and she is framing Nick Dunn for her murder, he said. I clasped my hands and sat up straight, tried to do anything that would lend me an air of reason. Boney stared at me. I needed a pipe, eyeglasses I could swiftly remove for effect, a set of encyclopedias at my elbow. I felt giddy. Do not laugh. Boney frowned. What's that again? Amy is alive and very well, and she is framing Nick, my proxy repeated. They exchanged a look, hunched over the table. Can you believe this guy? Why would she do that? Gilpin asked, rubbing his eyes. Because she hates him. Obviously, he was a shitty husband. Boney looked down at the floor, let out a breath. I certainly agree with you there. At the same time, Gilpin said, oh, for Christ's sake. Is she crazy, Nick? Boney said, leaning in. What you're talking about, it's crazy. You hear me? It would have taken, 6 months, a year to set all this up? She would have had to hate you, to wish you harm, ultimate, serious, horrific harm, for a year. Do you know how hard it is to sustain that kind of hatred for that long? She could do it. Amy could do it. Why not just divorce her ass? Boney snapped. That wouldn't appeal to her, or your ass, Boney snapped. That wouldn't appeal to her sense of justice, I replied. Tanner gave me another look. Jesus Christ, Nick, aren't you tired of all this? Gilpin said. We have it in your wife's own words. I think he may kill me. Someone had told them at some point, use the suspect's name a lot. It'll make him feel comfortable, known. Same idea as in sales. You been in your dad's house lately, Nick? Boney asked. Like on July 9th? Fuck. That's why Amy changed the alarm code. I battled a new wave of disgust at myself that my wife played me twice. Not only did she dupe me into believing she still loved me, she actually forced me to implicate myself. Wicked, wicked girl. I almost laughed. Good Lord, I hated her. But you had to admire the bitch. Tanner began. Amy used her clues to force my client to go to these various venues where she left evidence. Hannibal, his father's house, so he'd incriminate himself. My client and I have brought these clues with us as a courtesy. He pulled out the clues and the love notes, fanned them in front of the cops like a card trick. I sweated while they read them, willing them to look up and tell me all was clear now. Okay. You say Amy hated you so much that she spent months framing you for her murder, Boney asked in the quiet, measured voice of a disappointed parent. I gave her a blank face. This does not sound like an angry woman, Nick, she said. She's falling all over herself to apologize to you, to suggest that you both start again, to let you know how much she loves you. You are warm. You are my son. You are brilliant. You are witty. Oh, for fuck's sake. Once again, Nick. An incredibly strange reaction for an innocent man, Boney said. Here we are, reading sweet words, maybe your wife's last words to you, and you actually look angry. I still remember that very first night. Amy's missing. You come in here. We park you in this room for 45 minutes, and you look bored. We watched you on surveillance. You practically fall asleep. That has nothing to do with anything, Tanner started. I was trying to stay calm. You looked very, very calm, Boney said. All along, you've acted inappropriately, unemotional, flippant. That's just how I am. Don't you see? I'm stoic, to a fault. Amy knows this. She complained about it all the time, that I wasn't sympathetic enough, that I retreated into myself, that I couldn't handle difficult emotions, sadness, guilt. She knew I'd look suspicious as hell. Jesus fucking Christ. Talk to Hillary Handy, will you? Talk to Tommy O'Hara. I talk to them. They'll tell you what she's like. We have talked to them, Gilpin said. And Hillary Handy has made 2 suicide attempts in the years since high school. Tommy O'Hara has been in rehab twice, probably because of Amy. Or because they're deeply unstable, guilt-ridden human beings, Boney said. Let's go back to the treasure hunt. Gilpin read aloud Clue 2 in a deliberate monotone. You took me here so I could hear you chat about your boyhood adventures, crummy jeans and visor hat. Screw everyone else. For us, they've all ditched. And let's sneak a kiss, pretend we got hitched. You say this You say this was written to force you to go to Hannibal, Boney said. I nodded. It doesn't say Hannibal anywhere here, she said. It doesn't even imply it. The visor hat. That's an inside joke between us. Oh, an inside joke, Gilpin said. What about the next clue? The little brown house, Boney asked. To go to my dad's, I said. Boney's face grew stern again. Nick, your dad's house is blue. She turned to Tanner with rolling eyes. This is what you're giving me? It sounds to me like you're making up inside jokes in these clues, Boney said. I mean, you want to talk about convenient? We find out you've been to Hannibal? What do you know? This clue secretly means go to Hannibal? The final present here, Tanner said, pulling the box onto the table, is a not-so-subtle hint. Punch and Judy dolls. As you know, I'm sure, Punch kills Judy and her baby. This was discovered by my client. We wanted to make sure you have it. Boney pulled the box over, put on latex gloves, and lifted the puppets out. Heavy, she said. Solid. She examined the lace of the woman's dress, the male's motley. She picked up the male, examined the thick wooden handle with the finger grooves. She froze, frowning, the male puppet in her hands. Then she turned the female puppet upside down so the skirt flew up. No handle for this one, she turned to me. Did there used to be a handle? How should I know? A handle, like a 2x4, very thick and heavy, with a built-in groove to get a really good grip, she snapped. A handle like a goddamn club. She stared at me like I could tell what she was thinking. You are a game player. You are a sociopath. You are a killer. Amy Elliott Dunn, 11 days gone. Nick stocks, man, they are plummeting. So here's how we put an option call on that. Tonight is Nick's much touted interview with Sharon Schreiber. I was going to watch with a bottle of good wine after a hot bath, recording at the same time, so I can take notes on his lies. I want to write down every exaggeration, half-truth, fib, and bald facer he utters, so I can gird my fury against him. It slipped after the blog interview, one drunken random interview, and I can't allow that to happen. I'm not going to soften. I'm not a chump. Still, I am eager to hear his thoughts on Andy now that she is broken. His spin. I want to watch alone, but Desi hovers around me all day, floating in and out of whatever room I retreat to, like a sudden patch of bad weather. Unavoidable. I can't tell him to leave, because it's his house. I've tried this already, and it doesn't work. He'll say he wants to check the basement plumbing, or he wants to peer into the fridge to see what food items he's purchasing. This will go on, I think. This is how my life will be. He will show up when he wants and stay as long as he wants. He'll shamble around making conversation, and then he'll sit and beckon me to sit. And he'll open a bottle of wine, and we'll suddenly be sharing a meal, and there's no way to stop it. I really am exhausted, I say. Indulge your benefactor a little bit longer, he responds, and runs a finger down the crease of his pant legs. He knows about Nick's interview tonight, so he leaves and returns with all my favorite foods, manchego cheese and chocolate truffles and a bottle of cold Sansera. And with a wry eyebrow, he even produces the chili cheese Fritos I got hooked on back when I was Ozark Amy. He pours the wine. We have an unspoken agreement not to get into details about the baby. We both know how miscarriages run in my family, how awful it would be for me to have to speak of it. I'll be interested to hear what that swine has to say for himself, he says. Desi rarely says jack fuck or shitbag. He says swine, which sounds more poisonous on his lips. An hour later, we have eaten a light dinner that Desi cooked and sipped the wine that Desi bought. He has given me one bite of cheese and split a truffle with me. He has given me exactly 10 Fritos and then secreted away the bag. He doesn't like the smell. It offends him, he says. But what he really doesn't like is my weight. Now we are side by side on the sofa, a spun soft blanket over us, because Desi has cranked up the air conditioning so that it is autumn in July. I think he has done it so he can crackle a fire and force us together under the blanket. He seems to have an October vision of the two of us. He even brought me a gift, a heathery violet turtleneck sweater to wear. And I notice it complements both the blanket and Desi's deep green sweater. You know, all through the centuries, pathetic men have abused strong women who threaten their masculinity, Desi is saying. They have such fragile psyches, they need that control. I am thinking of a different kind of control. I am thinking about control in the guise of caring. Here is a sweater for the cold, my sweet. Now wear it and match my vision. Nick at least didn't do this. Nick let me do what I wanted. I just want Desi to sit still and be quiet. He's fidgety and nervous, as if his rival is in the room with us. Shh, I say, as my pretty face comes on the screen. Then another photo, and another, like falling leaves, an Amy collage. She was the girl that every girl wanted to be, said Sharon's voiceover. Beautiful, brilliant, inspiring, and very wealthy. He was the guy that all men admired. Not this man, Desi muttered. Handsome, funny, bright, and charming. But on July 5th, their seemingly perfect world came crashing in when Amy Elliott Dunn disappeared on their 5th wedding anniversary. Recap, recap, recap. Photos of me, Andy, Nick, stock photos of her pregnancy test and unpaid bills. I really did do a nice job. It's like painting a mural, stepping back and thinking, perfect. Now, exclusively, Nick Dunn breaks his silence, not only on his wife's disappearance, but on his infidelity and all those rumors. I feel a gust of warmth toward Nick because he's wearing my favorite tie that I brought for him, and he thinks or thought was too girly bright. It's a peacocky purple that turns his eyes almost violet. He's lost his satisfied asshole paunch over the last month. His belly is gone. The fleshiness of his face has vanished. His chin is less clefty. His hair has been trimmed but not cut. I have an image of Go hacking away at him just before he went on camera, slipping into Mama Mo's role, fussing over him, doing the saliva thumb rub down on some spot near his chin. He is wearing my tie, and when he lifts his hand to make a gesture, I can see he is wearing my watch, the vintage Belova Space View that I got him for his 33rd birthday, that he never wore because it wasn't him, even though it was completely him. He's wonderfully well groomed for a man who thinks his wife is missing, Desi snipes. Glad he didn't skip a manicure. Nick would never get a manicure, I say, glancing at Desi's buff nails. Let's get right to it, Nick, Sharon says. Did you have anything to do with your wife's disappearance? No, absolutely 100% not, Nick says, keeping well-coached eye contact. But let me say, Sharon, I am far, far from being innocent, or blameless, or a good husband. If I weren't so afraid for Amy, I would say this was a good thing. In a way, her disappearing. Excuse me, Nick. But I think a lot of people find it hard to believe you just said that when your wife is missing. It's the most awful, horrible feeling in the world, and I want her back more than anything. All I'm saying is that it has been the most brutal eye-opener for me. You hate to believe that you are such an awful man that it takes something like this to pull you out of your selfishness spiral and wake you up to the fact that you are the luckiest bastard in the world. I mean, I had this woman who was my equal, my better, in every way. And I let my insecurities about losing my job, about not being able to care for my family, about getting older, cloud all that. Oh, please, Desi starts. I shush him. For Nick to admit to the world that he is not a good guy, it's a small death and not of the petite mort variety. And Sharon, let me say it. Let me say it right now. I cheated. I disrespected my wife. I didn't want to be the man that I had to become. But instead of working on myself, I took the easy way out. I cheated with a young woman who barely knew me, so I could pretend to be the big man. I could pretend to be the man I wanted to be, smart and confident and successful, because this young woman didn't know any different. This young girl, she hadn't seen me crying into a towel in the bathroom in the middle of the night because I lost my job. She didn't know all my foibles and shortcomings. I was a fool who believed if I wasn't perfect, my wife wouldn't love me. I wanted to be Amy's hero. When I lost my job, I lost my self-respect. I couldn't be that hero anymore. Sharon, I know right from wrong, and I just did wrong. What would you say to your wife if she is possibly out there, able to see and hear you tonight? I'd say, Amy, I love you. You are the best woman I have ever known. You are more than I deserve, and if you come back, I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you. We will find a way to put all this horror behind us, and I will be the best man in the world to you. Please come home to me, Amy. Just for a second, he places the pad of his index finger in the cleft of his chin. Our old secret code, the one we did back in the day, to swear we weren't bullshitting each other. The dress really did look nice. That article really was solid. I am absolutely 100% sincere right now. I have your back and I wouldn't fuck with you. Desi leans in. Desi leans in front of me to break my contact with the screen and reaches for the Sankaray. More wine, sweetheart, he says. Shh. He pauses the show. Amy, you are a good-hearted woman. I know you are susceptible to please, but everything he is saying is lies. Nick is saying exactly what I want to hear. Finally. Desi moves around, so he is staring at me full face, completely obstructing my vision. Nick is putting on a pageant. He wants to come off as a good, repentant guy. I'll admit he's doing a bang-up job, but it's not real. He hasn't even mentioned beating you, violating you. I don't know what kind of hold this guy has on you. It must be a Stockholm Syndrome thing. I know, I say. I know exactly what I'm supposed to say to Desi. You're right. You're absolutely right. I haven't felt so safe in so long. Desi, but I see him, man. I'm fighting this, but he hurt me for years. Maybe we shouldn't watch anymore, he says, twirling my hair, leaning too close. No, leave it on. I have to face this. With you. I can do it with you. I put my hand in his. Now shut the fuck up. I just want Amy to come home so I can spend the rest of my life making it up to her, treating her how she deserves. Nick forgives me. I screwed you over, you screwed me over, let's make up. What if his code is true? Nick wants me back. Nick wants me back so he can treat me right. So he can spend the rest of his life treating me the way he should. It sounds rather lovely. We could go back to New York. Sales for the Amazing Amy books have skyrocketed since my disappearance. 3 generations of readers have remembered how much they love me. My greedy, stupid, irresponsible parents can finally pay back my trust fund. With interest. Because I want to go back to my old life. Or my old life with my old money and my new Nick. Love, honor, and obey Nick. Maybe he's learned his lesson. Maybe he'll be like he was before. Because I've been daydreaming. Trapped in my Ozarks cabin. Trapped in Desi's mansion compound. I have a lot. Hold on, real quick. It's crazy that you're trapped in the mansion. Given how much space it is, like that's crazy that for one to feel trapped. That just goes to show how suffocating and smothering Desi's being. I have a lot of time to daydream, and what I've been daydreaming of is Nick in those early days. I thought I would daydream more about Nick getting ass raped in prison, but I haven't so much. Not so much lately. I think about those early days when we would lie in bed next to each other, naked flesh on cool cotton, and he would just stare at me. One finger tracing my jaw from my chin to my ear, making me wriggle, that light tickling on my lobe, and then through all the seashell curves of my ear and into my hairline. And then he'd take hold of one lock of hair, like he did that very first time we kissed, and pull it all the way to the end and tug twice, gently, like he was ringing a bell. And he'd say, "You are better than any storybook. You are better than anything anyone could make up." Nick fastened me to the earth. Nick wasn't like Desi, who brought me things I wanted, tulips, wine, to make me do things he wanted. Love him. Nick just wanted me happy. That's all. Very pure. Maybe I mistook that for laziness. I just want you to be happy, Amy. How many times did he say that? And I took it to mean, I just want you to be happy, Amy, because that's less work for me. But maybe I was unfair. Well, not unfair, but confused. No one I've loved has ever not had an agenda. So how could I know? It really is true. It took this awful situation for us to realize Nick and I fit together. I am a little too much, and he is a little too little. I am a thorn bush bristling from the overattention of my parents, and he is a man of a million little fatherly stab wounds, and my thorns fit perfectly into them. I need to get home to him. Nick Dunn, 14 days gone. I woke up on my sister's couch with a raging hangover and an urge to kill my wife. This was fairly common in the days after the diary interview with the police. Wait, hold on. Oh, little time skip, y'all. Okay, so Nick was at 10 days, Amy was at 11, and now it's 3 more days have passed. So it's 14 days now. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like a big jump. I'd imagine Amy tucked away in some spa on the West Coast, sipping pineapple juice in the divan, her cares floating away, far away, above a perfect blue sky, and me, dirty, smelly, from an urgent cross-country drive, standing in front of her, blocking the sun until she looks up, and then my hands around her perfect throat, with its cords and hollows and the pulse thumping first, urgently, and then slowly, as we look into each other's eyes, and at last have some understanding. I was going to be arrested. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day. I had taken the fact that police let me walk out of the station as a good sign, but Tanner had shut me down. Without a body, a conviction is incredibly tough. They're just dotting I's, crossing the T's, spending these days doing whatever you need to do. Because once the arrest happens, we'll be busy. Just outside the window, I could hear the rumbling of camera crews, men greeting one another good morning, as if they were clocking in at the factory. Cameras click, click, clicked like restless locusts shooting in front of Go's house. Someone had leaked the discovery of my man cave of goods on my sister's property. My imminent arrest. Neither of us had dared to do so much as flick a curtain. Go walked into the room in flannel boxers, in her high school butthole surface t-shirt. That's crazy. Her laptop in the crook of her arm. Everyone hates you again, she said. Fickle fucks. Last night, someone leaked all the information about the shed, about Amy's purse and the diary. Now it's all Nick is a liar, Nick is a killer, Nick is a lying killer. Sharon Shaber just released a statement saying she was very shocked and disappointed with the direction the case was taking. Oh, and everyone knows about all the porn. Kill the bitches. Hurt the bitch. Oh, excuse me, she said. Hurt the bitch. So, Nick is a lying killer / sexual sadist. Ellen Abbott is going to go fucking rabid. She's a crazy anti-porn lady. Of course she is, I said. I'm sure Amy is very aware of that. Nick, she said in her wake-up voice, this is bad. Go, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. We need to remember that, I said. What matters right now is what Amy is thinking, if she's softening toward me. And as crazy as that sounds, he's right. Nick, you really think she can go that fast from hating you so much to falling in love with you again? It was the 5th anniversary of our conversation on this topic. Go, yeah, I do. Amy was never a person with any sort of bullshit detector. If you said she looked beautiful, she knew that was a fact. If you said she was brilliant, it wasn't flattery. It was her due. So yeah, I think a good chunk of her believed that if I can only see the error of my ways, of course I'll be in love with her again. Because why in God's name wouldn't I be? And if it turns out she's developed a bullshit detector, you know Amy, she needs to win. She's less pissed off that I cheated than that I picked someone else over her. She'll want me back just to prove that she's the winner. Don't you agree? Just seeing me begging her to come back so I can worship her properly, it'll be hard for her to resist. Don't you think? I think it's a decent idea, she said in a way you might wish someone good luck on the lottery. Hey, if you got something better, by all fucking means. We snap like that at each other now. We'd never done that before. After the police found the woodshed, they grilled Go hard, just as Tanner had predicted. Did she know? Did she help? I'd expected her to come home that night, brimming with curse words and fury, but all I got was an embarrassed smile as she slipped past me to her room in the house, and she had double mortgaged to cover Tanner's retainer. I had put my sister in financial and legal jeopardy because of my shitty decisions. The whole situation made Go feel resentful and me ashamed, a lethal combination for two people trapped in small confines. I tried a different subject. I've been thinking about phoning Andy now that, yeah, that would be genius smart, Nick. That she can go back on Ellen Abbott. She didn't go on Ellen Abbott. She had a press conference that Ellen Abbott carried. She's not evil, Go. She gave the press conference because she was pissed at you. I sort of wish you just kept fucking her. Nice. What would you even say to her? I'm sorry. You are definitely fucking sorry, she muttered. I hate how it ended. The last time you saw Andy, she bit you, Go said in an overly patient voice. I don't think the two of you have anything else to say. You were the prime suspect in a murder investigation. You have forfeited the right to a smooth breakup. For fuck's sake, Nick. We were growing sick of each other. Something I never thought could happen. It was more than basic stress. More than the danger I deposited on Go's doorstep. Those 10 seconds just a week ago when I'd opened the door of the woodshed, expecting Go to read my mind as always, and what Go had read was that I killed my wife, I couldn't get over that. And neither could she. I caught her looking at me now and then. I caught her looking at me now and then with the same steeled chill with which she looked at our father. Just another shitty male taking up space. I'm sure I looked at her through our father's miserable eyes sometimes. Just another pretty woman resenting me. I let out a gust of air, stood up, and squeezed her hand, and she squeezed back. I think I should head back home, I said. I felt a wave of nausea. I can't stand this anymore. Waiting to be arrested, I can't stand it. Before she could stop me, I grabbed my keys, swung open the door, and the cameras began blasting. The shouts exploded from a crowd that was larger than I'd feared. Hey, Nick, did you kill your wife? Hey, Margot, did you help your brother hide the evidence? Fucking shitbags, Ghost spat. She stood next to me in solidarity in her butthole surface t-shirt and boxers. A few protesters carried signs. A woman with stringy blonde hair and sunglasses shook a poster board. Nick, where is Amy? The shouts got louder, frantic, baiting my sister. Margot, is your brother a wife killer? Did Nick kill his wife and baby? Margot, are you a suspect? Did Nick kill his wife? Did Nick kill his baby? I stood trying to hold my ground, refusing to let myself step back into the house. Suddenly, Go was crouching behind me, cranking the spigot near the steps. She turned on the hose full bore, a hard, steady jet, and blasted all the cameramen and protesters and pretty journalists in their TV-ready suits, sprayed them like animals. She was giving me covering fire. I shot into my car and tore off, leaving them dripping on the front lawn, Go laughing shrilly. It took 10 minutes for me to nudge my car from my driveway into the garage, inching my way slowly forward, parting the angry ocean of human beings. There were at least 20 protesters in front of my home, in addition to camera crews. My neighbor Jan Taverer was one of them. She and I made eye contact, and she aimed her poster at me. Where is Nick, Amy? Finally, I was inside, and the garage door came buzzing down. I sat in the heat of the concrete space, breathing. Everywhere felt like jail now. Doors opening and closing, and me never feeling safe. I spent the rest of my day picturing how I'd kill Amy. It was all I could do. It was all I could think of, finding a way to end her. Me smashing in Amy's busy brain. I had to give Amy her due. I may have been dozing the past few years, but I was fucking wide awake now. I was electric again, like I had been in the early days of our marriage. I wanted to do something, make something happen, but there was nothing to do, nothing to be done. By late evenings, the camera crews were all gone, though I couldn't risk leaving the house. I wanted to walk. I settled for pacing. I was wired dangerously tight. Andy had screwed me over. Mary Beth had turned against me. Go lost a crucial measure of faith. Boney had trapped me. Amy had destroyed me. I poured a drink. I took a slug, tightened my fingers around the curves of the tumbler, then hurled it at the wall, watched the glass burst into fireworks, heard the tremendous shatter, smelled the cloud of bourbon, rage in all five senses. Those fucking bitches. I tried all my life to be a decent guy, a man who loved and respected women, a guy without hangups. And here I was, thinking nasty thoughts about my twin, about my mother-in-law, about my mistress. I was imagining bashing in my wife's skull. A knock came at the door, a loud, furious bang, bang, bang that rattled me out of my nightmare brain. I opened the door, flung it wide, greeting fury with fury. It was my father, standing on my doorstep like some awful specter summoned by my hatefulness. He was breathing heavily and sweating. His shirt sleeve was torn, and his hair was wild, but his eyes had their usual dark alertness that made him seem viciously sane. Is she here? He snapped. Who, Dad? Who are you looking for? You know who. He pushed past me, starting marching through the living room, trailing mud, his hands balled, his gravity far forward, forcing him to keep walking or fall down, muttering, bitch, bitch, bitch. He smelled of mint, real mint, not manufactured, and I saw a smear of green on his trousers, as if he'd been stomping through someone's garden. Little bitch, that little bitch, he kept muttering, through the dining room, into the kitchen, flipping on lights. A water bug scuttled up the wall. I followed him, trying to get him to calm down. Dad, why don't you sit down? Dad, do you want a glass of water? Dad, he stomped downstairs, clumps of mud falling off his shoes. My hands turtled into fists. Of course, this bastard would show up and actually make things worse. Dad, God damn it, Dad. No one is here but me. Just me. He flung open the guest room door and then went back up to the living room, ignoring me. Dad. I didn't want to touch him. I was afraid I'd hit him. I was afraid I'd cry. I blocked him and tried to go upstairs to the bedroom. I placed one hand on the wall, one on the banister, human barricade. Dad, look at me. His words came out in a furious spittle. You tell her. You tell that ugly little bitch it's not over. She's not better than me. You tell her. She's not too good for me. She doesn't get to have a say. That ugly bitch will have to learn. I swear I saw a blank whiteness for just a second, a moment of complete jarring clarity. I stopped trying to block my father's voice for once and let it throb in my ears. I was not that man. I didn't hate and fear all women. I was a one-woman misogynist. If I despised only Amy, focused all my fury and rage and venom on the one woman who deserved it, that didn't make me my father. That made me sane. Little bitch, little bitch, little bitch. I had never hated my father more for making me truly love those words. Fucking bitch, fucking bitch. I grabbed him by the arm, hard, and herded him into the car, slammed the door. He repeated the incantation all the way to Comfort Hill. I put up to the home in the entry reserved for ambulances, and I went to his side, swung open the door, yanked him out by the arm, and walked him just inside the doors. Then I turned my back and went home. Fucking bitch, fucking bitch. But there was nothing I could do except beg. My bitch wife had left me with nothing but my sorry dick in my hand, begging her to come home. Print, online, TV, wherever. All I could do was hope my wife saw me playing good husband, saying the words she wanted me to say. Capitulation, complete. You are right and I am wrong, always. Come home to me, you fucking cunt. Come home so I can kill you. Ooh, okay. Amy Elliott Dunn, 26 days gone. Desi is here again. He is here almost every day now, simpering around the house, standing in the kitchen as the setting sun lights up his profile so I can admire it, pulling me by my hand into the tulip room so I can thank him again, reminding me how safe and loved I am. He says I'm safe and loved even though he won't let me leave, which doesn't make me feel safe and loved. He's left me no car keys, nor house keys, nor the gate security code. I am literally a prisoner. The gate is 15 feet high, and there are no ladders in the house. I've looked. I could, I suppose, drag several pieces of furniture over to the wall, pile them up and climb over, drop to the other side, limp or crawl away. But that's not the point. The point is, I am his valued, beloved guest, and a guest should be able to leave when she wants. I brought this up a few days ago. What if I need to leave immediately? Maybe I should move in here, he counters. Then I could be here all the time and keep you safe. If anything happens, we could leave together. What if your mom gets suspicious and comes up here and you're found hiding me? It would be awful. His mother. I would die if his mother came up here because she would report me immediately. That woman despises me. All because of that incident back in high school. So long ago, and she still holds a grudge. I scratched up my face and told Desi she attacked me. The woman was so possessive and so cold to me. She might as well have. They didn't talk for a month. Clearly they've made up. Jacqueline doesn't know the code, he says. This is my lake house. He pauses and pretends to think. I really should move up here. It's not healthy for you to spend so many hours by yourself. But I'm not by myself, not that much. We have a bit of a routine established in just 2 weeks. It's a routine mandated by Desi, my posh jailer, my spoiled courtier. Whatever. Desi arrived just after noon, always planning us some expensive lunch he's devoured with Jacqueline at some white linen restaurant. The kind of restaurant he could take me to if we moved to Greece. This is the other option he repeatedly presents. We can move to Greece. For some reason, he believes I will never be identified in a tiny little fishing village in Greece where he has summered many times, and where I know he pictures us sipping the wine, making lazy sunset love, our bellies full of octopus. He smells of lunch as he enters. He wafts it. He must dab goose liver behind his ears, the way his mother smells. The way his mother always smells vaguely vaginal. Food and sex, the Collins reek of. Not a bad strategy. That's what Nick said too, that she smelled vaginal. That's funny as shit. He enters and he makes my mouth water. The smell. He brings me something nice to eat, but not as nice as what he's had. He's thinning me up. He always preferred his women wafy. So he brings me lovely green starfruit and spiky artichokes and spiny crab, anything that takes elaborate preparation and yields little in return. I am almost my normal weight again, and my hair is growing out. I wear it back in the headband he brought me, and I have colored it back to my blonde, thanks to hair dye he also brought me. I think you'll feel better about yourself when you start looking more like yourself, sweetheart, he says. Yes, it's all about my well-being, not the fact that he wants me to look like exactly how I did before, Amy circa 1987. I eat lunch as he hovers near me, waiting for the compliments. To never have to say those words, thank you again. I don't remember Nick ever pausing to allow me, force me to thank him. I finish lunch, and he tidies up as best as he knows how. We are two people unaccustomed to cleaning up after ourselves. The place is beginning to look lived in. Strange stains on countertops, dust on windowsills. Lunch concluded. Desi fiddles with me for a while. My hair, my skin, my clothes, my mind. Look at you, he'll say, tucking my hair behind my ears the way he likes it, unbuttoning my shirt one notch and loosening it at the neck so he can look at the hollow of my clavicle. He puts a finger in the little indentation filling the gap. It is obscene. How can Nick have hurt you? How have not loved you, have cheated on you? He continually hits these points, verbally poking a bruise. Wouldn't it be so lovely just to forget about Nick, those awful 5 years, and move on? You have that chance, to completely start over with the right man. How many people can say that? I do want to start over with the right man, the new Nick. Things are looking bad for him, dire. Only I can save Nick from me, but I am trapped. If you ever left here and I didn't know where you were, I'd have to go to the police, he says. I'd have no choice. I need to make sure you were safe, that Nick wasn't holding you somewhere against your will, violating you. The fucking irony, huh? A threat disguised as concern. I look at Desi with outright disgust now. Sometimes I feel my skin must be hot with repulsion, and with the effort to keep the repulsion hidden, Interesting. I've forgotten about him. The manipulation, the purring persuasion, the delicate bullying. A man who finds guilt erotic. If he doesn't get his way, he'll pull his little levers and set his punishment in motion. At least Nick was man enough to go stick his dick in something. Desi will push and push his waxy taper fingers until I give him what he wants. I thought I can control Desi, but I can't. I feel like something very bad is going to happen. 33 days gone. The days were loose and long, and then they smashed into a wall. I went out to get groceries one August morning, and I came home to find Tanner in my living room with Boney and Gilpin. On the table, inside of a plastic evidence bag, was a long, thick club with delicate grooves for fingers. We found this just down the river from your home on that first search, Boney said. Didn't look like anything at the time, really. Just some of the weird flotsam on a riverbank. But we kept everything in a search like that. After you showed us your Punch and Judy dolls, it clicked. So we got the lab to check it out. And, I said, toneless. Boney stood up, looked me right in the eye. She sounded sad. We were able to detect Amy's blood on it. This case is now classified as a homicide, and we believe we have the murder weapon. Rhonda, come on. It's time, Nick, she said. It's time. The next part was starting. Amy Elliott Dunn, 40 days gone. I have found a piece of old twine in an empty wine bottle, and I've been using them for my project. Also some vermouth, of course. I am ready. Hold on. She about to get crazy. She about to get crazy. Discipline. This will take discipline and focus. I am up to the task. I array myself in Desi's favorite look, delicate flower. My hair in loose waves, perfumed. My skin has paled after a month inside. I am almost without makeup. A flip of mascara, pink cheeks, and clear lip gloss. I wear a clingy pink dress he bought me. No bra, no panties, no shoes, despite the air-conditioned chill. I have a fire crackling and perfume in the air. And when he arrives after lunch without invitation, I greet him with pleasure. I wrap my arms around him and bury my face in his neck. I rub my cheek against his. I have been increasingly sweeter to him the past few weeks. But this is new, this clinging. What's this, sweetheart? He says, surprised and so pleased that I almost feel ashamed. I had the worst nightmare last night, I whisper. About Nick. I woke up and all I wanted was to have you here. And in the morning, I spent all day wishing you were here. I can always be here if you like. I would, I say, and I turn my face up to him and let him kiss me. His kiss disgusts me. It's nibbly and hesitant, like a fish. It's Desi being respectful of his raped, abused woman. He nibbles again, wet, cold lips, his hands barely on me. And I just want this all over. I want it done, so I pull him to me and push his lips open with my tongue. I want to bite him. He pulls back. Amy, he says, you've been through a lot. This is fast. I don't want you to do this fast if you don't want to, if you're not sure. I know he's going to touch my breasts. I know he's going to push himself inside me, and I want it over. I can barely restrain myself from scratching him. The idea doing this slowly. I'm sure, I say. I guess I've been sure since we were 16. I was just afraid. This means nothing, but I know it will get him hard. I kiss him again. Then I ask him if he will take me into our bedroom. In the bedroom, he begins undressing me slowly, kissing parts of my body that have nothing to do with sex. My shoulder, my ear, while I delicately guide him away from my wrists and ankles. Just fuck me, for Christ's sake. 10 minutes in, and I grab his hand and thrust it in between my legs. Are you sure? He says, pulling back from me, flushed, a loop of his hair falling over his forehead, just like in high school. We could be back in my dorm room for all the progress that he has made. Yes, darling, I say, and I reach modestly for his cock. Another 10 minutes, and he's finally between my legs, pumping gently, slowly, slowly, making love, pausing for kisses and caresses until I grab him by the buttocks and begin pushing him. Fuck me, I whisper. Fuck me hard. He stops. It doesn't have to be like that, Amy. I'm not Nick. Very true. I know, darling. I just want you to fill me. I feel so empty. That gets him. I grimace over his shoulder as he thrusts a few more times and comes, me realizing it almost too late. And this is his pathetic come sound. Oh, this is his pathetic come sound. And faking quick oohs and ahs, gentle kittenish noises. I try to work up some tears because I know he imagines me crying with him the first time. Darling, you're crying, he says as he slips out of me. He kisses a tear. I'm just happy, I say, because that's what those kind of women say. I have mixed up some martinis, I announce. Desi loves a decadent afternoon drink. And when he makes a move to put on his shirt and fetch them, I insist he stay in bed. I want to do something for you for a change, I say. So I scamper to the kitchen and get 2 big martini glasses. And into mine I put gin and a single olive. Into his I put 3 olives, gin, olive juice, vermouth, and the last of my sleeping pills. 3 of them, crushed. I bring the martinis, and there is snuggling and nuzzling, and I slurp my gin while this happens. I have an edge that must be dulled. Don't you like my martini, I ask him. He only has a sip. I always pictured being your wife and making you martinis. I know that's silly. I begin to pout. Oh, darling, not silly at all. I was just taking my time, enjoying. But he guzzles the whole thing down. If it makes you feel better, he is giddy, triumphant. His cock is slick with conquest. He is basically like all men. Soon he is sleepy. And after that, he is snoring. And I can begin. And we're going to stop there, guys, because the next time we meet, we start off with part 3. Yeah. Ooh, I won't tell you what it's called, but oh, this is exciting. A lot of progress made, y'all. So we're on page 366, and yeah. So it's interesting because I think I said this to you guys before. Oh, okay. All right. So I'll be honest with you guys. We're on page 366, and it looks like the last page is 415, right? But then there are like acknowledgments and things, and then there's a reader's guide, which is interesting, and I'll worry about that later. But then there's the previously unpublished scenes, and I thought that was going to be in the book, but it's not. Those are later. So I'll do a special episode on those, probably when the time is right. But we have 50 pages left. So guys, we're probably going to finish this in the next 2 episodes. If I'm feeling really, really, really good, maybe finish it next time, but that's almost not going to be the case. But anyway, I appreciate you all tuning in and stopping by, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.